Hello and welcome to video lecture series in sociology. Today we are going to discuss chapter 5 titled as Doing Sociology Research Methods from your textbook Introducing Sociology. For understanding, we have divided this chapter into 8 parts. In the previous part of this lecture, we have discussed about research in sociology. We started discussing with what is sociology, its origin as an academic discipline and various definitions of sociology. We also discussed about the difference between research and research methodology and what are the possible areas of interest to sociologists. Today we will discuss about something very important in sociological research, which is called as subjectivity and objectivity. Now we have started discussing about research in sociology, but you may be wondering, why do we do research? What is the need to carry out research? We do research in order to achieve the following 3 things. The first is, importantly, to move from subjectivity to objectivity. The second important aim of doing sociological research is to separate value from facts. And the third important thing that we achieve through sociological research is to differentiate between belief and knowledge. Now, what do we mean by these concepts? We will discuss about these concepts in detail today. Let us begin with the third point first, that is the difference between belief and knowledge. Now, belief is an acceptance of something that exists or is considered to be true, especially something without a proof. For example, belief in supernatural, belief in magic, belief in witchcraft or superstition. Let us take example of 2 concepts, heaven and hell. Nobody has seen ever heaven or hell themselves, but we believe in the existence of these 2 things, heaven or hell, and all our social behavior is guided by these 2 concepts, that if we do good, we will go to heaven, if we do wrong, we go to hell. This is a classic example of a belief. Knowledge on the other hand is awareness or understanding of something on the basis of facts, information, description or experimentation, which is acquired through experience and systematic investigation, learning, discovering or perceiving. Now, if I say that I can see this book, that means it exists. My knowledge is true other than the belief. This discovery helps us to separate facts from values also. How? Now, values are defined as broad preference concerning appropriate forms of behavior, action or outcomes. Values reflect an individual's sense of what is right or wrong, what is there as good or bad in society, or what ought to be and not ought to be. Values tend to influence attitudes and behavior of people. A value system is a set of values that are part of any culture and cherished by members of a particular group or society. Although debated, values are personal in nature and very relative. What does this mean? That is, what is considered good or valued in one culture may not be valued in another culture or may not be considered as good there. But then there are some fundamental or universal values such as harmony, unity, peaceful coexistence, equal rights for all and respect and dignity, and we cannot deny their existence. As against value, a fact is something that has really occurred or is happening in everyday reality or life or is actually the case. The usual test of a fact is its verifiability, that is, whether it can be proved or it corresponds to the experience. Scientific facts are verified by repeated experiments, that is, you do it again and again. The general aim of research in sociology or any social scientific discipline for that matter is to move from subjective understanding to a more objective understanding of reality. In short, through research we move from subjectivity to objectivity. Now, subjectivity and objectivity are very important terms in social research and we need to understand them in greater detail. Let us understand these concepts in detail. Subjectivity or subjective knowledge belongs to a subject or to an individual. It refers to individual's perception, his values, beliefs, perspective, feeling, desire, opinion, preferences, what not. Subjectivity refers to an individual's personal experiences about life in his particular social and cultural surroundings. These perceptions or experiences are acquired through interaction with other people in society. Subjectivity pertains to a person's personal or psychological characteristics, which are part of his cultural makeup. It is a subjective evaluation. It emphasizes on one's own attitudes and opinions, etc., and at times it can be unduly egocentric or dominating. It relates to the nature of an object as it is known to be or interpreted by an individual in the mind as distinct from other things available around. Subjectivity also relates to properties or specific conditions, say socio-cultural framework of mind, as distinct from general or universal experiences. Objectivity is opposite of subjectivity. In very simple term, objectivity refers to the ability to judge fairly, without bias or external influence. It means the state or quality of being true even outside a subject's individual feelings, imaginations or interpretation. Objectivity is the central philosophical concept related to reality and truth. We strive to achieve objectivity through the process of research. So, how do we list the main features of objectivity? As contrast to subjectivity, objectivity encompasses unbiased perspective, or it is based on facts alone explanations. The objective is thought to be real. It focuses on things as objects devoid of feeling or emotions. It is an act of objecting to a given or a preconceived notion or a situation which an individual has in its or in her mind. It is not influenced by an individual's previous experiences, preferences or taste. It is verifiable by looking up to facts or performing experiments or mathematical calculation. Objectivity is about scientific facts which have mathematical proofs, and they can be backed up with solid data. Objectivity knowledge is gained through active experimentation, synthetic reasoning and logical deductions. Objectivity presupposes an independent reality that exists independent of the interpretation of the observer, and it can be grasped through systematic observation or experimentation. Objective knowledge is more than the personal perceptions of an individual. It is a knowledge that is free from bias, prejudice or opinions. Now, objectivity can be achieved by emotionally detaching oneself from the object of the study. What do we mean by this? We mean that despite being a woman, if I am studying gender as subject or for sociological investigation, I should not talk more in favor of the women. Now, let us understand or discuss the difference between objectivity and subjectivity in clear-cut points comparatively. Subjectivity is mind dependent, like white is beautiful, some groups are inefficient, this tastes good, that tastes terrible, etc. Whereas objectivity exists independent of mind, such as a square has 4 sides, each corner forming a right angle. Subjectivity or subjective truths essentially are dependent upon man's discovery or acceptance, and they can vary between individuals or cultures. Like chocolate ice cream is the best flavor is a subjective truth. It is true for one person who believes in it, but may not be true for somebody else. Objective truths like those expressed in mathematics are not dependent upon a man's approval, discovery or acceptance, but they remain truth regardless of all this interpretation. You may make a mistake or believe that 2 plus 2 is 5, but that is an objective mistake. Whereas subjectivity is thought to be an illusion, an imagination like heaven or hell, but objectivity is representation of the real, that is earth. Subjectivity is how you experience or interpret data. Objectivity indicates a complete dispassionate situation and records the event exactly as it occurs. Next point is that subjectivity focuses on things as subjects, relying on feelings and emotions to define the nature, intent, content and purpose. Subjectivity is someone's own personal views and thoughts on a subject. Objectivity focuses on things as objects. Lacking this feeling or emotion, it is detached. Objectivity does not involve any bias or personal views, and it does not involve any emotion or personal prejudice or value judgments. Thus, in brief, the aim of sociological research is to move from a subjective understanding to a more objective understanding of how societies work. The discipline of sociology attempts to offer a kind of expert, academic and objective understanding of this social life. To call this knowledge as objective, we need to know how this knowledge is generated, what assumptions sociologists make about the nature of society. Sociology is a scientific study of human societies, its origin, development, institutions, its structures and functions. It uses various methods of critical analysis and empirical investigation to develop a body of knowledge about social activity or society. The subject matter of sociology ranges from micro to macro level, from understanding individual action, agency, his interaction with other members in the society on one end of the spectrum, to understand systems or social structures on the other end of the spectrum. This whole gamut forms the subject matter of sociology, from micro to macro level. Now, sociologists focus primarily on refining the theoretical understandings or social processes. For example, understanding and explaining causes and consequences of process of globalization, modernization, westernization, Sanskritization, etc., or other processes of social change. Now, this means that what factors and actors induce or bring about these changes, and what are the consequences of these changes. Sociologists also conduct social research to use and apply understanding of society and systems to design social policy and programs of social welfare. The general purpose of research is to discover answers to questions through the application of scientific procedures. The main aim of the research is to find out the truth, which is hidden or is yet to be discovered. Let us discuss some of the purposes of social research in detail. The first purpose can be exploratory purpose. This type of research investigates an area or issue on which little previous work has been done or carried out. In an organizational setting, it may be used to discover whether or not a problem exists. The second purpose can be a speculative purpose. Sometimes research is implemented strategically when researchers take into account current situations and try to predict or speculate about its future implications. Research of this type helps to predict or speculate that what can be a possible outcome of a particular situation on the basis of the study from past, so that we can develop programs and policies that can inform future responses to such situations or similar situations. The third purpose can be predictive purpose. Now, in this we develop a model that predicts the likely course of events in a particular set of intervening variables or circumstances. Suppose A is the situation, if B comes, what will be the situation of C? The next purpose can be evaluative purpose. It evaluates the impact of something. For example, a new policy, program or an event, a particular law, treatment regime or any new system. It attempts to assess the strength and weaknesses of these programs and is used as a feedback for the improvements in the existing programs. Another purpose of sociological research is explanatory purpose. Now, this type of research aims to show why relationships, patterns and links occur. It tries to explain or explore the relationship between two or more variables. For example, explaining direct relationship between poverty and slums in urban areas, or showing an inverse relationship between crime and level of education and employment. It also tries to explain how study skill support system can improve a student's performance, and how does this depend on the other social and personal factors. And finally, we can talk about descriptive purpose. Now, descriptive work aims to gather information that helps to identify relationships, patterns and links, again between some variables. An example would be an investigation of the link between students' study skill and course dropout rates. It takes into account the trends and changes over a period of time, and on the basis of these describe the existing pattern. Another example can be change in the family forms. Now, if we look at the social changes in general, what factors particularly bring about change in the structure of the family or types or functions of the family. Now, to conclude, let us summarize what we discussed in this lecture. We started with the issue that why do we do research in sociology. We discussed that we do research in sociology in order to move from subjectivity to objectivity. We do it to separate values from facts, and we also separate belief from knowledge here. We discussed about objectivity and subjectivity in detail. We also discussed about various purposes of research, namely exploratory, descriptive, speculative, predictive and evaluative. In the next part of this chapter, we will discuss about how do we select a topic for research and what is the difference between micro and macro methods. Till then, you can enjoy reading this part of the chapter. Thank you.